Hi, my name is Garrett Christopher, and this is my YouTube channel. This is called Garrett's Sports Take. Now I've got two other channels. There's Garrett's Movie Take and Garrett's Take. The Movie Take, I do like I'm doing here. Talk about movies, like teams that I really enjoy, and want to get you to watch those same movies and check them out. Garrett's Take is a little more serious. That one I'm right now in a talk and a learning process about homelessness. So please check that out. I couldn't attend, but I watched a city, a city meeting this past week, and a person who kind of presides over the homelessness and the approach in my particular city. Watched her kind of preside over a meeting, and very, very informative. And I'll kind of share everything I learned. I'm going to share with you on that channel. And I want to learn more about what my community is doing and what I can do to help my community. And yeah, bring you along for the ride. But this channel is about sports. And right now what I'm doing, I'm talking about the NFL and the upcoming NFL season 2021 and where I think the divisions stand as far as records for each team. If you're a fantasy lover, I'm not the guy. I don't go through particular numbers of quarterbacks, running backs, and all that kind of a thing. I really just talk about the teams. I do list a few quarterback names, but yeah, I'm not the fantasy guy. I don't look into it that deeply. I just kind of look overall and use my, 4.5 decades of experience of watching sports and kind of getting in there. I'm fairly intuitive when it comes to sports. But yeah, we'll let you decide that based on what I'm talking about and who I specify as far as who I deem being the ones that will win their divisions in this upcoming season. Please check out GaretChristopher.com. You'll learn more about me. I'm a self-published author. I've got a few books out there and an upcoming sci-fi series book called The Takeover coming up here in a couple of months. I'm really excited about that. I also have a weekly podcast on Soundcloud and Spotify, so please check these things out. And when you do, leave me comments. Doesn't matter to me, good, bad, or indifferent. Whatever you call me, I've been called before. So no problem there. So we've got two more divisions left. They're both in the North, the AFC and the NFC North. Let's talk about the AFC North. Well, first of all, let me do an overall with both the AFC and NFC North. Now, no doubt there are teams in all the divisions that have some smash mouth football, right? Get in there and pound the line and the running game and all that kind of thing. But doesn't it seem like the North teams, AFC and NFC North, for the most part, not all of them, but for the most part, man, just have, especially when you get into November and December, just when you watch these Monday Night Football games or Sunday football games, you're just pounding away, colder weather, and you almost feel the cracks of the helmets and all that kind of a thing. And it just seems like these teams in the North have, when other teams go into, like Miami Dolphins, right? So you got a warm climate team. When they go into these colder climates, it's got to be rough. You're used to 85, 90 degrees humidity, and you go up into, wherever, New England usually, Buffalo, what have you. I know they're not in the North, but I'm talking about northern teams. It's got to be rough. Now you're playing in 15-degree weather, slick turf and all that kind of thing. And it just seems like those teams really, really hit it head on. And I think both for the AFC North and the NFC North, you got a lot of that, but more so in the AFC, I believe. So last year, Pittsburgh won that division. How? I have no idea. I have a lot of respect for the Steelers and their organization overall. Do I question the signing of Ben coming back for another year at 39 years old? Kind of. And yet, Ben has won them some Super Bowls. He's kept them in contention along with, coaching and the players overall. They've had some great players coming out of there. And losing a star running back and a star receiver a couple of years ago. My goodness sakes. How many teams could survive that and still have, a good record and not be, in the dumps for the next 3 or 4 years? That's a tough one. But I don't see them winning the division this year. I don't see. Ben had some good numbers last year. I looked it up. I was very surprised. 10 interceptions for the entire season. It seems to me like I must have watched the 2 or 3 games that he played where he threw all those interceptions. Because every time I was flipping around and checking out different, now they're on the East Coast also. So when my Dolphins are playing, usually Pittsburgh's playing also. So I'm flipping back and forth and checking things out. But man, every time they were making a comeback or doing this or doing that, it seemed like he was throwing an interception. He only had 10 for the whole season. I was very surprised by that. By the numbers, he had a really good season. But doesn't it seem like you can't count on him to always make, and not just, have an incomplete pass, but it's either a great pass going in there or it's an interception. Sure seems like it to me. But based on the numbers, that's not the truth at all. And I can't say I watched every Steelers game all the way through, like I watched the Miami Dolphins games, right, all the way through. But it just seems like it. So at 39, and again, a lot of respect for the Steelers organization, but I don't see them winning the division this year. So I read somewhere that Baker Mayfield is kind of a mid-tier quarterback, right? And yet I saw him make some plays last year that proved to me that this guy may be ready to be that person. Maybe not week in, week out. I get that. But maybe be that person that can make those special plays, right? Either with his feet or with his arm. We know the team is good. And to their credit, to Cleveland's credit, and to the players they've signed, they're adding on pieces, and in some of the cases, troubled pieces, right? Pieces that were making some ruckus wherever they came from, coming to Cleveland. And it seems like this ragtag team of prima donnas in some cases have come together, and they're bonding. And they're bonding well. And I don't know what the clubhouse is like. Is it a clubhouse in football? Locker room. I don't know what the locker room is like. It could be just crazy, and I don't know if these guys hang out together. I don't know that much about that team. But it seems like on the field, they have some camaraderie. And as they keep adding pieces, I think they have a structure already. So kudos to them and the organization for kind of bringing that together. I think Cleveland's here to stay. I don't think that Baker is a flash in the pan. I think he's got something behind the ears. Yeah, and I was not someone who thought that when he first came in the league and watching him and this kind of a thing. But, he's a young kid, and you should be allowed to enjoy the game. So I picked them to win this division. Crazy. No way. Baltimore's going to win the division. Are you kidding me? Now, Lamar Jackson. Is he a top 5 quarterback, top 10 quarterback? We know he can run. We know he can make things happen big time. I still question some of the passes. As far as being just on target a lot of the time, right? And being where they need to be. And a lot of it because he's running for his life, right? And that's kind of like his mindset, isn't it? As far as to get outside the pocket a little bit. I know he changed a little bit last year, being more in the pocket and just trying to let that ball fly and get to his receivers. But I think it's innate. It's within him. Nothing wrong with that. I think he may benefit, and I'm sure he has already, by watching like a Steve Young, for instance, who would run, but learned that, you know what, let me just be precise with my passing and that kind of a thing. So I picked Baltimore to win this division, and I think they're going to win it going away. They had some injuries last year, so barring that situation, I think they're going to take first spot. And I think with their squad and with Lamar Jackson, despite the fact that he's not an on-target all the time passer, I think they can win 13 games. I think they can go 13-4 in that division. And I think Cleveland is right on their heels. I think Cleveland has enough, again, to get over that hump, and not just to be that team that every once in a while wins that game that they shouldn't win or wins that tight match. But I think they can get right to where 2 out of 3. I think they win 12 games, go 12-5. Pittsburgh, I think is going to go 500. 8-9, 9-8 maybe. And again, a lot of respect for them, but that's how I see the season going for them. And I feel Cincinnati, Joe Burrow is back, but couldn't work on a lot of things over the season. So he's got to kind of get back into it and that kind of a thing. I think he's a heck of a talent. I think we saw that in the first few weeks of the season. But really, for all intents and purposes, he's a rookie again, right? Going in there. They won 4 games last year. I think they're hard-pressed to do the same thing again. 4, maybe 5 games, go 5-12. 6-11, I think, would be a real stretch for them. But okay, I'll put them there. For all you Cincinnati fans, we'll put them at 6-11. So I have Baltimore at the top, 13 wins, 13-4. Then I have Cleveland next, right behind them. Game out. And then Pittsburgh, and then Cincinnati behind at 6-11. Tough division. And I think anybody who plays any of those teams, when they go up against each other, that's going to be a rough one. Okay, let me ask this question. Are there any teams in that division that will win both games against their opponent? I think Cincinnati will get swept by a couple of teams. I think Baltimore will beat them twice, and I think that Baker and Cleveland, excuse me, will win both games against Cincinnati, and that'll help propel them over Pittsburgh, right? I think Pittsburgh will go 1-1 against Cincinnati, and And that's how we kind of end up with there. But any team going in that division to play those teams, especially come November, December, is going to have a heck of a time beating those guys in the dog pound or wherever. So that's where we have it. That's what I see. Hey, thanks so much for checking in. Got one team left, the NFC North. I'm Garrett Christopher, and this was my YouTube channel. Thanks. Have a great day. GoPro, stop recording.